Gilgaboo, Gilgaboo, Gilgaboo.
As Gilgaboo the Jarrow, as falch Eru, gus Gullers Gaccan, as fast am I, de Ruth as Natalie.
Fast am I.
Fast am I.
And more from those shortly. Nish fully, an Emsha, the weather.
Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
As Satajak Ligdun Clashton by Ruth Leshen Emsha.
Shallan Giall na Chruinnaght faster as faster beg Jew. Let's just go beg on the jig frast rish. Begin ye na shia as fest na miana chonas and temperela spoo 9 Celsius jig. Be a chirim nach as be a chirim merach lesh bodulin cachliach as Shallan Giall na Chruinnaght. Be an temperela smoo merach mash 9 Celsius jig risht. In riet, hig fliarish na verach as hig be a fluch sa tojach jamurt lesh fliad de remain bridge amach. Hig de vein na stirme as na skille ek gerren le. Eri na grenia ek kia minute as feed leg queg merach, as lai na grenia ek shach minute as feed leg merach Jew.
As all of that then in English, bright or sunny intervals this afternoon and evening with just a small risk of a shower, light or moderate west or southwest winds. The maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius. Dry tonight and tomorrow will be a dry day with the variable cloud and bright or sunny intervals. With the variable cloud, I don't know, not sure about the English there. Top temperature tomorrow about 19 degrees Celsius. Again, the outlook, rain developing tomorrow night, then a damp start on Tuesday, good for the garden, with outbreaks of rain and drizzle. However, it will gradually become drier and brighter later in the day. Sunrise 24 minutes past 5 tomorrow and sunset 27 minutes past 9 today.
Manx Glass and Glazing can supply and install single, double and triple glazing. Call 674 573 or visit the showroom on the Snugborough Trading Estate. Guller's Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
I turn the music up, I got my records on. I shut the world outside until the lights come on. Maybe the streets are alive, maybe the trees are gone. I feel my heart stop beating to my favorite song. And all the kids they dance, all the kids all night until morning, oh, it feels another life. I turn the music up, I'm on the world aside, and heaven is inside.
As fast am I eru ollu. Yes, good afternoon all. And that was Every Teardrop is a Waterfall, carrying on last week's weather-themed music. And we have another weather-themed piece of music shortly. But that was Coldplay. Anyway, fast am I, Ruth, as Natalie.
Fast am I, Phil.
Fast am I.
I don't think you've been a guest on the programme before.
I don't think I have.
Well, palchey, as maybe it would be interesting for the listener to find out a little bit more about you, Natalie. I mean, I know you've been around for
20 years now.
Yes, must be at least 20 years. And so you're obviously very young when you first appeared on the scene. That's all I can say. But yes, you've been learning Manx. But that's not the only language you've learned.
No, I first came to the island when I was at university and I was studying Celtic studies, so Irish was my main subject, and I did a little bit of Scots Gaelic and Welsh too. I took an interest in Manx because of my family connection. My granddad's grandmother's grandmother is on the 1901 and 1911 censuses as a Manx speaker.
Great.
So started to learn. Made some wonderful mistakes along the way and met some fabulous people.
Yeah. And what, I mean, why would you be interested in learning these languages?
I think it's important to have that connection with the past and with your place. And it opened up so many wonderful worlds like music, literature, history. Manx is like the key that ties it all together. And the same with Irish as well. It was that experience of opening up this whole culture. And
you're obviously over for Yn Chruinnaght, so you're still very much enjoying the culture.
Very much so, yeah. And I went to a couple of gigs for the Chruinnaght and they were fabulous.
Yeah. Good.
So Natalie is also, I mean, we should also mention, I think, about her contribution to the Manx language, because far more than just being a speaker of the language, she's also contributed massively to things like the written word. So she translated the Gruffalo and the Gruffalo's Child into Manx, and that was published. How many years ago was that? Would it be about 2013?
I think 2013, yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's no mean feat, because of course the Julia Donaldson book is in verse, and then Natalie actually put it into Manx verse, which takes a heck of a lot of creativity and brain power to do. And kind of you're going on a sort of a bit of a translation journey at the moment, are you? So doing Irish translations as well. So,
yeah, I'm hoping to get back into the translation a bit more on the sort of professional side of things again, and
which is wonderful. So
I've always done it as a hobby.
Real skill set.
Well,
really.
we'll hear a lot more as the programme unfolds, and we might even hear some of the music that was being played at Yn Chruinnaght. But to start with, well, not to start with, because we've already started, we're going to hear the Kinks and Sunny Afternoon, which I hope it will be for the rest, at least until the sun goes down.
As Manx's Manannan's misty cloak, Manx Radio.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon. Summertime, in the summertime. car and gone back to her ma and pa, telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. Now I'm sitting here, sipping at my ice cold beer, blazing on the sunny afternoon. Help me, help me, help me sail away. Well, give me 2 good reasons why I ought to stay. 'Cause I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime. Ah, save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime.
Station and National Radio Vannon.
That's the Jarrow Show Radio Vannon, and we have a couple of guests with us, and Ruth, who is our normal guest.
Yes,
On a Sunday, the third-ish.
third normally,
Third-
but I'm here on the
third-ish.
fourth because the murren was on
There
me
was
last
too much,
time. Yeah,
yes,
too
yes.
too much going
And then
on.
I suppose if Ruth is a normal guest, what does that make you, Natalie?
An extraordinary guest.
Extraordinary. That's the word. Yes, I'm sure that was the word. It was right at the tip of my tongue. How difficult is it translating stuff into Manx?
It depends a little bit on the content. I mean, the Gruffalo was a bit of a challenge because of the rhyme and because I wanted to keep the vocabulary at a level that would be appropriate for children and learners. The second Gruffalo book, I had a lot of help from Chris Sheard as the editor, and he was wonderful at sort of suggesting things where my translations maybe weren't quite working, and he made some fantastic improvements. So that was very valuable. But yeah, translation, it depends really on the text.
Yeah, and in my experience, because I used to do a kind of a simultaneous translation when I was reading the stories for the kids when they were growing up. You would just read the book, even though the book was in English, you'd read it out in Manx, and that was fine, apart from the noddy books. And I don't know what it was about the way that the English was constructed, but everything seemed to be in the wrong order, and the subject of the thing might be in the place you weren't expecting it to be, and it really, really complicated.
Was it because it was Enid Blyton and it's like that little bit older? Because it was Enid Blyton who wrote Noddy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
possibly.
She was a bit archaic in her writing style, perhaps.
But yeah, Noddy, I do remember that. And I also remember our advanced Manx class with Adrian Pilgrim translating Noddy and the Useful Rope into Manx, and it was probably one of the most wonderful literary works that had been produced in the, when would it have been, 1980s, 1990s maybe, way above the heads of the poor little children. But a fantastic piece of literature.
Yes.
If anyone wants to find, I don't know.
I'd love to
copy
find
of it.
that. Yeah,
It must be there somewhere.
Must be somewhere.
Yeah, there was me and Stewie Bennett and Annie and who else? Chris Sheard would have been there. Possibly Julie. I'm not sure whether She was, but yes, Noddy Noddy as in Ted Imadole. Yes, that was quite something. So yeah, well, we've heard about Yn Chruinnaght, and now let's hear something from Yn Chruinnaght. We've got Avanc, and I've gone for track 3, which is... Oh no, I'm not going to go for that one, because let's have a look. I'm making it up as I'm going along.
Shall I talk about Avanc while you find the track?
Yes, you could do.
Bit.
Yeah.
So Avanc are from Wales, or as we would say in the Manx language, Yn Chruinnaght, or we can say Breton as well. And they're quite a big band, actually. There's about 11 of them when everybody's there. And they played on the Thursday night as part of the Celtic Myths and Legends session, concert, I should say, that was going on. And also they played on the Friday night at the Mega Manx Chlaare, and they're spelled Avanc, Avanc. If anyone wants to try and find them online and have a look a bit more about them, but a brilliant band, and we'll hear from them.
And according to their CD little insert thing, it says here, Avanc, the lake monster. Welsh mythology is full of stories about a terrifying creature that stole people from the land if they came too close to its home. No one has ever seen the beast and lived to tell the tale. Sounds a bit like a Glashton, doesn't it?
It does sound like that.
But yes, powerful, fast and relentless. This is Avanc.
Draeth y ber mo machlyd hael yn gwyl o'r greg Dawog o fach ar lan y gorwel Chruinnaght i gael dod Mae'r sibrwyd treon am ei ffeithiau Arwyr chwedlon i'w eigau Swyt y feddwl llawn dy chwelyd Haid o gadael y siwr Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law Cer i baratoi naw Cer i weld y môr o'r mawrion sy'n Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law Cer i baratoi naw Cer i weld y môr o'r mawrion sy'n dros y byd fe gyd i weld drwy lygaid newydd siwt mae eraill yn byw Ni fydd y daith yn llawn peryglon gwyliau dros y gefn o hyd Cofiad oes na ddim dychwelyd rôl ti adael y siwr Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law a cer i baratoi naw Cer i weld y môr o'r mawrion sy'n Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law a cer i baratoi naw Cer i weld y môr o'r mawrion sy'n Dawog o fach ar len y gorwel Chruinnaght i gael dod Yn sibrwd lleon am ei ffeithiau Arwyr chwedlon i'w eigau Ros yw dy feddwl llawn dy chwelyd Paid a gadael y siwr Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law a cer i baratoi naw Cer i weld y môr o'r mawrion sy'n Cer i ddilyn yn lliwiau law a cer i baratoi naw
And that was Avanc. And somehow I managed to pick the one track that we've heard on Guller's Gaccan before, but we'll have another, at least one more track from Avanc before the end of the programme. I do like the sound of them and what they do. They're obviously into using traditional tunes, and I should say Traeth y Bermo is Bermo Beach, is it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And very close to Thrai that we have in Manx for beach as well. So some of those older, I find that some of the older words that we have in Manx and the older words they would have in Welsh are very similar. Even though there's not that much crossover, but
you do occasionally. You come across things, don't you? And certainly if only they hadn't have, or we hadn't. Which way around was it? If only the P Celts or the Q Celts hadn't decided to shift. It would have been a lot easier, because so much. I mean, things like what do they have for pedwa is 4, isn't it? And care is our 4. So yeah, it's not that close. But if it was pair, you could see where pedwa would come from for 4, and pen for kiaull, and all of those things. They are quite similar. But anyway, that was Avanc, and the other thing that was happening during Yn Chruinnaght, apart from, well, there's loads of other things really, weren't there? But we had our friends, former guests on Guller's Gaccan, as they were correcting me 2 years ago. I thought it was only last year, but no, 2 years ago.
Time's flying.
And they we'll hear from them probably next week or maybe the week after. I've lost track now when Kenler is due in. I think he's
next week.
Yeah, I think he's next week. So it'll be the week after we'll hear from the Radio Falch people. And yes, Radio Falch, for anyone who doesn't know, is Welcome Radio, and it's a Belfast-based Irish language radio station.
And it's the only fully, I think, Irish language radio station in the north, isn't it? Of Ireland.
Yeah.
And they're on just off Falls Road in West Belfast. And there was a little crew of 4 of them over, wasn't there? There was and they were there for Yn Chruinnaght for part of the time, and live broadcast from the festival, and did a lecture, and co-organised a sort of set of mini Manx talks with myself on the Wednesday evening. So yeah, it was really nice and lovely having them over, and lovely having them broadcasting about the festival in Irish and giving Manx a good, shout out.
And what I really like about them is that they challenge me as a Manx speaker, because they'll speak Irish to you if they know that you speak a Gaelic language. Yeah. And they're not going to compromise with that. No. They're just going to keep speaking. Yeah. And it was good. I would say most of them I was able to follow at least 2/3, maybe 2/3 of what they were saying. Apart from Paul, there was one of them.
I found him too hard to follow
and
too.
I don't know what it was about his whether it's where he's learned as Irish or what it was, but he was more difficult. So I reckon I was down to about a quarter of understanding him.
And you have some Irish as well, of course.
Yes, a little.
You did some in Liverpool when you were a student.
Yeah, a little bit of Irish. So I've been learning Irish for, well, as long as I've been learning English, almost 60 years. Anyway, what have we got here? We've got Fast Am I Everyone from Graham, and I've got let's have a look. How am I not seeing that? There's some, maybe there'll be a button or something I need to press, but no, I can't. I don't seem to be able to. Oh, here we are. There's a button. No, that doesn't do it either. Anyway, Graham has said something. And
when
I work out how to read it, oh yes, I love that Manxy musical book. Well, no, it wasn't Manx, you see, it was Welsh. Maybe I should have been clear about that. Yes, that was Avanc. They were Welsh. We haven't played any other. Unless we're going to claim the Kinks as being Manx. Well, we couldn't we? I love that Manxy musical moment. Manx music really should receive much more airplay. Love it. And that's from Graham. And there will be more Manx music on the programme as we go through. where are we up to? Probably time to have another piece of music, and this isn't Manx music. Well, there's a few jingles first, and then we'll get into Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy.
Galas Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
As Manx is calling the energy from waste plant the incinerator, Manx Radio.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Station and nation running over.
And just as well, we have these little jingles in there to remind me of things, because I get forgetful in my old age. Yes, we're actually going to do a quick update on the weather, and then we're going to have a Manx track, and then perhaps later we'll hear from Thin Lizzy. So yes, I'll do the English. Bright or sunny intervals this afternoon and evening, with just a small risk of a shower. Dry tonight, and tomorrow will be a dry day with the variable cloud and bright or sunny intervals. And then tomorrow, rain developing tomorrow night, then a damp start on Tuesday with outbreaks of rain and drizzle. However, it will gradually become drier and brighter later in the day.
Shallan Gial na Chruinnaght faster as faster beg dew, leis just gau beg on the jig fras rish. Be a chirim nach as be a chirim merach leis bodilin cachliach as Shallan Gial na Chruinnacht. In riet ag flia rish I na verach as es be a fluch sa tajach de meurt leis flia na dramen brejamach. Hege de vei na styrma as na skille ag gerin le.
Yendasach. Well, that also was our cue, not just for the Manx weather, but for the Manx track. And we're going to hear from Machtulloch Vannon and Slinky Shuel, which you may... do you recognise? No, you don't. I had at one point thought that might have been... I might have used that for a jingle, and I may yet use it as a jingle. But yes, we'll hear from that now.
Galas Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
There we go. That's MacTulloch Vannon with Slinky Shule. And yes, still one of my favourites ever, Manx albums, the MacTulloch Vannon CD on which Slinky Shule features. Anyway, right, we'll have a piece of music and then a little bit more chitter-chatter. This is 5, Keep On Moving.
Are coming my way, and if the sunshine has a meaning, it's telling me not to let things get in my way. When the rainy days are dying. Gotta keep on trying. All the bees and birds are flying. Never let go, gotta hold on and non-stop till the break of dawn and keep moving, don't stop rocking. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. Feels like I should be screaming, trying to get it through to my friends. Sometimes it feels that life has no meaning, but I know things will be alright in the end. When the rainy days are dying, gotta keep on trying. All the bees and birds are flying. Never let go, gotta hold on and non-stop till the break of dawn and keep moving, don't stop rocking. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. When the rainy days are dying, gotta keep on trying. All the bees and birds are flying. Never let go, gotta hold on and non-stop till the break of dawn and keep moving, don't stop rocking. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. Get on up when you're down, baby. Take a good look around. I know it's not much, but it's okay. We'll keep on moving on anyway. Get on up, keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on moving. I know it's not much, keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on moving.
And that was Keep On Moving. And Natalie, you were moving, jigging about a bit to that one. You were saying that was something you used to listen to?
It takes me back.
Well, there you are. It's always good to take people back. And I'm sure we'll do that with not just that piece of music on Radio Manx Limited. Anyway, what else have we got to talk about? The Radio Falchi fellas, of course, they're based in Belfast, and Natalie, you were some time there too.
I was in Belfast for 10 years while I was studying there, and it's amazing in that time and since how much the Irish language community has developed, and it's just going from strength to strength. I mean, take Radio Falchi, they started out, well, when I was there, it was a sort of a room in a building, the Cultalan. They had a small studio in there. Then they got a brief temporary studio, and now they're in this wonderful state-of-the-art building, and they're making their facilities available to the likes of the BBC and RTE. They're really top of the range and offering training to young broadcasters. And it's fantastic.
And they've now got a recording studio where you can go in, and indeed the offer is open to any Manx-speaking bands that want to go. If they, it's like a bit of a drag to get to Belfast, but you know, if you just happen to be in the Belfast area and fancied recording a CD. They have a studio there. So
I think what I really enjoyed was with them being over, they had the opportunity to deliver a lecture, and it was quite an informal lecture, but the three different presenters talked about what's going on in Belfast in terms of the language. And I think sometimes people maybe think that it's, you know, in terms of the schools and things, it's maybe more politicised than it actually is, because they were saying that the actual Gael Scoils, they aren't religious at all. So they actually have people from different sides of the communities coming together, and they don't do anything to do with religion. So actually the language is a way of bringing people together. And you do find that when certainly you and I, Phil, were in Derry last year, they were saying in the Cultalan, which is the cultural centre in Derry, they were saying there's a huge amount of building bridges between communities, and it's through through the Irish language facilitating it.
And it's sad in a way that it ever became a politicised thing, the language, because of course a lot of the very famous Ulster men, the Protestants, were Gaelic speakers, the ones from Antrim in particular.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was really interesting hearing them talking about things very, very positively, and talking about all the brilliant things that have gone on for the language and the future of it as well. So and you could see some definite parallels, in terms of Manx language and the starting of the Bunscoil and how that came out of people who were determined and for there to be a way, and now that's thriving in much the same way that the schools in Belfast and Northern Ireland, or the north of Ireland as well, are thriving in the same way.
And of course that certainly inspired us when we were setting up things like the Bunscoil over here. I know back in those days Muintir Vega had quite a bit of cash to fund things like trips away. So we had one trip to Belfast, one trip to the Western Isles of Scotland, and the trip to Belfast was really inspiring. It was just wonderful to see what they were doing effectively on a shoestring at that time. That would have been, I suppose that would have been about 30 years ago, getting on for that anyway. And it was just really wonderful to see. And if they couldn't get a budget for it, or they couldn't find some money for it, they would just do it anyway. They would find a way and persevere, and it is great to see how the language is being embraced by, as you say, both the nationalist community and the Protestant or Unionist community as well. Yeah,
it's really, really good. So, Natalie, you were there for 10 years and you did a PhD, didn't you? And all written in Irish as well as, wasn't it, I think?
My PhD was written in English. My master's was written in Irish.
Sorry, I remember one of those theses and I'm thinking, ooh, wow, that's very good.
Yeah, my PhD was related to Scots Gaelic literature as well, therefore I wrote it in English.
Fair enough. But yeah, so you'll have seen all of these different changes of the language in Belfast as well over the years.
Yeah, it's really inspiring just to see that, like I say, going from strength to strength, meeting new speakers, like you do sort of know people within a community, but then when you find somebody that you don't know, it's exciting and you realise that the community is bigger than you thought it was. And the same happens on the Isle of Man.
It does. More and more often I'm bumping into people who are fluent Manx speakers that I don't know. And it's a wonderful thing. It really is. I mean, there's not that many people in the Isle of Man I don't know anyway, but yeah, finding a few that actually speak Manx, it's a great thing, isn't it? And next year, of course,
the year of the Manx language.
Everyone is going to be speaking Manx.
Absolutely. It's Blaen na Gaeilge, or the year of the Manx language. So 2026 will be a full calendar year of celebrating the Manx language, and you can get involved as well. So everyone can get involved. If you go to yearofmanx.im, you can find out all about the year, the aims of the year, the themes of the year, which are really to celebrate Manx across the whole community with young people and families, and celebrating creativity and culture, research and resources, all sorts of things. There should be something for you to get involved with, no matter what your level of Manx is, fledgling right through to fluent.
Yndysach. Well, we're now due for our final piece of music. Any guesses what it might be?
I literally have no idea. Oh, is it Whiskey in the Jar? Oh, it's Whiskey in the Jar.
Whiskey in the Jar. Not in Irish, but certainly an Irish band. So
great
Thin Lizzy with Whiskey in the Jar.
Galas Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
she leave me? But the devil take that woman, for you know she treat me easy. But she ring, dumma-doo-dumma-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. So maybe 7 in one Captain Farrell. I jumped up, fired up my pistols, and I shot him with both barrels. Mushering, dumma-doo-dumma-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. And some men like to fowling, and some men like to hear a cannonball rolling. But me, I like sleeping, especially in my mindless chamber. But here I am in prison, here I am with a ball and chain, yeah. Much a ring, dumma-doo-dumma-da. Wait for my daddy-o. Wait for my daddy-o. There's whiskey in the jar. And I got drunk on whiskey. And I love
Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
As ons gilg sa tajach.
Shallan Gyal na Chruinnaght faster as faster beg due. Let's just go beg on the jig frastrish. Begin near na sheer ass fest na mianach on as in temperele smooth na Celsius jig. Be a chirim nach as be a chirim merach leis bodulin kerkliach as Shallan Gyal na Chruinnaght. Be temperele smooth merach mush 9 Celsius jig reached. In riet. Hig flia reshi na verach as SBA fluch sa tajach de murt leis flia na draman bridgemach. Hig de vein is dirma as na skilla ek jerin la. Irina grania ek kia minute as feedlug quag merach as lida grania ek shach minute as feedlug and nai G.
Bright or sunny intervals this afternoon and evening with just a small risk of a shower. Light or moderate west or southwest winds. The maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius. Dry tonight and tomorrow will be a dry day with variable cloud and bright or sunny intervals. Top temperature tomorrow about 19 degrees Celsius reached. Again, I should say. I'm doing the English, I must remember. The outlook. Rain developing tomorrow night. then a damp start on Tuesday without breaks of rain and drizzle. However, it will gradually become drier and brighter later in the day. Sunrise 5:24 a.m. tomorrow and sunset 9:27 p.m. today.
Manx Glass and Glazing can supply and install single, double and triple glazing. Call 674 573 or visit the showroom on the Snugborough Trading Estate. Galla's Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
Well, I fear we may not see so much of this fella this coming week.
Why you had to hide away for so long? Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, it's a place to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Hey there, Mr. Blue, it's a place to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky. Mr. Blue, you did it right, but some girls missed the night. Creeping over, now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I'll remember you this way. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue Sky, so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
And I never knew that that little bit at the end there was "Please Turn Me Over." I actually had the ELO album. It was a blue vinyl album. I don't know whatever happened to it.
Yeah.
And you had to turn the thing over when you got to that stage.
It's full of hidden things, isn't it, that song?
It's great. It is. And you were saying
I used to teach that one. Yeah, I was saying while it was playing, I used to teach that when I was working as a music teacher at Ramsey Grammar School, and we had to teach British pop music between 1950 and the present day, and it was sort of early 2000s at that sort of time. And that was one of the ones I chose to teach because it's so full of interesting things, like both technological and musical sorts of tools, I suppose you could say. I've forgotten all about that "Please Turn Me Over" thing.
No, it's very, very clever. Really.
It's a clever song, isn't it?
Clever, awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's hope that having played that now, we'll find that the jet stream does whatever it's supposed to do to allow the blue sky to appear, and everyone will be happy.
Yes.
So yes, the Scoill Souree is Giantas Harris now.
It is on the topic of teaching, absolutely. So for anyone who doesn't know Scoill, that means school. I'm sure you could have guessed that anyway from knowing Bunscoill Ghilgach and Bunscoill Rumser. Scoill is school, and Souree is of the summer. So this is something I set up 3 years ago through Culture Vannon. I wanted to have a summer school. It would have been something I would have loved as a student, or just someone who likes to do quite intensive language learning. I thought, right, I'm going to set that up, and having been to different summer schools in the past for music and things like that, I thought I really would like to do something where people come for a week and they just maybe do half a day each day of learning, and then they have access to some music and entertainment in the evening. But obviously I'm organising this myself, and I thought, well, I don't have access to lots of things like doing ceilidhs and concerts, but I do know a week that happens in the Isle of Man where there's very good entertainment already. And so I decided to do it at the same time as Yn Chruinnaght in Peel, and it's worked really beautifully. So the first year we had 20 students, and that was 2 courses just to see how it went, one for absolute beginners and one for sort of a little bit higher up, level 2. And then the next year we did 3 and we had 33 students, and this year we had 52 students across 5 courses. So it was really fun. I'm absolutely ski-aglach now, though. Awful tired awful, because I was teaching in the morning and in the afternoon, and then running around like a headless chicken for the rest of the week as well, just going to Chruinnaght or supporting things or helping organise things. So yeah.
And people from all over the world, weren't there?
Yeah, there were. So there was people obviously from the Isle of Man, and actually I want to say as well, for those people who came, a lot of them took time off work as well. You know, they took their holiday to come to it and to come to the Chruinnaght. So that should also not be sniffed at. I mean, they were local, but they actually had to make it work and happen for themselves. And then also we had people from a bit nearer here. So we had people from England come over, Ireland, Scotland. Don't think we had anyone from Wales. But the furthest we had some various countries in Europe, like Luxembourg, Switzerland, things like that. But we also had 2 people who came specifically over from Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. And one of those people is a Callister.
Good.
You can guess her family roots. And she's been learning Manx since early 2021. She started in the lockdown online with the Culture Vannon classes when they went online at that time. So she was one of my very first students when I came into the role. And now she still does stuff online, but she's very, very good. So she taught her husband Manx.
Right,
and he
good.
went on to the 2nd level course. So she's been spending the year teaching him. And then they both came over, and just to be able to, she said, go to the pub after the lessons or go to a concert and have loads of people to speak to and practice with. She said, and I quote, it was transformative to be able to be on the island. So it's just been so lovely to meet loads of different people from across not only the island and new people to me, but also familiar faces, but also the Manx language diaspora as well, which is ever growing. And it was just a wonderful week. As I say, I feel like I need to sleep forever. I was saying to Natalie as well in the car on the way in, I was like, I'm going to have an ice cream and then go to bed. After the broadcast.
Quite right too. Anyway, we've heard that from Electric Light Orchestra about Mr. Blue Sky. The Walker Brothers have a less optimistic take on the weather. The sun ain't gonna shine anymore.
As Manx as the Young Farmers Concert. Manx Radio.
And indeed it is the Stashún and Ashún. And you're listening to Gullis Gaccan with Ruth and Natalie and myself. And we were talking about the Scoill Souree. Why do people, I mean, you can kind of understand if they've got a name like Callister or something, why they might want to learn a bit of Manx. But you were talking about people from Switzerland and other parts of Europe. I mean, are they Manx descendants or just taking a...
No, not all of them at all. So there's some people who are obviously connected to the island who maybe live away now, and this is the best time for them to come over and do sort of intensive learning. But other people are interested in minority languages in general, or just languages in general as well, and see that supporting minority languages and learning them is really, really useful and beneficial. And so that's, I think, some of the reasons why people have learned, as well as having a connection to the island. And actually, I was going to bring Natalie in on this point, because she also, as well as being able to speak Irish fluently and Manx fluently, is a very good Welsh speaker. And, well, she's sort of shaking her head a little bit here, but I'm like, just take it, Natalie. You are good. And also has been learning Basque, the Basque language for about 6 years, you were saying.
Yeah, about 6 years.
And what led you to sort of start learning Basque?
I think, again, like you say, it's the interest in minority languages, a bit of sort of solidarity for the smaller languages, and it's really interesting to see what they're doing with the language and perhaps get ideas from them. When I lived in Belfast, I actually lived with 2 Basque speakers, so I was exposed to it then, even if I only learnt sort of how to order beer and say hello.
And for the uninitiated who maybe don't know where Basque is spoken, like the Basque language is spoken, whereabouts is it? Because I think that can confuse people sometimes, can't it, where the Basque country is?
So the Basque country is located at the western end of the Pyrenees between France and Spain.
Yeah, so you find it across both countries, don't you, as
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
And what's the sort of infrastructure like for the Basque language? I know we're kind of going way away from Gilg, but there we are, we're in Basque now. What's it? Have they got a television channel? Have they got radio stations? So is it much more kind of more infrastructure than Manx, for example?
There is a television channel, but it's not exclusively in Basque. There's Basque radio. Because the language is spread over 3 sort of legal jurisdictions, they don't receive any support from France. In Navarre, they have some level of support, quite limited. And then in the Basque Autonomous Community, they receive a great deal more support. But in the north, for example, in the French side of the Basque country, they have to fundraise for the Basque language schools. They organise a big marathon around the Basque country.
Very similar to Breton, isn't it? I mean, they basically, the French state was founded on the principle that there is one language, and that's French, and it's just tough if you happen to speak a different language. So
it's really good that you, as a friend obviously of Manx, and having, as we heard in the first session of Goll's Gaccan today, have translated not only the Gruffalo child, and also many other things. Like, you really love translating songs, don't you? Sometimes you've sent me things like, I've translated Frozen, or, I've translated, I think you did you not do Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen at one point? And I thought, oh, that's a good challenge for me as a singer, isn't it? I haven't learnt it yet, but might do. But no, it's brilliant to hear why you are learning other minority languages and supporting them.
Yeah, the funniest thing actually, when I first started learning Basque, my friend over there had just read an article about braew visiting the Basque country, and it was Tom Collister giving an interview to this Basque magazine saying all about the Manx language and Manx music. And it was amazing. I was so surprised to receive that in Basque.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it, with musicians as well? Like, a lot of braew, for anyone who doesn't know, were a trio who, more around about 10 years ago, and comprised Jamie Gaccan, or Jamie Smith, Adam Rhodes, and also Tom Collister, and they went all over the world actually playing, and they didn't just perform tunes, they did perform songs as well a bit, and especially if they had Greg Gaccan with them guesting too. But also Jamie is a wonderful singer, and it's a really good way of transmitting language, isn't it, through music. Absolutely. And telling people about it when you're gigging. Yes, and a good way of exhausting yourself, dancing to them. Very true, very true. Anyway, there was a poster on the RE teacher's wall when I was at school many years ago, which said, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean to say they're not out to get you. Which I'm having to process that now. My tired little brain. Well, hang on a minute. Arthur Fyfe's RE room, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean to say they're not out to get you. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I say that is because, of course, sadly, Ozzy Osbourne died relatively recently. And after we get through a few jingles, we will hear Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Goll's Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
As Manx as a cat with no tail. Manx Radio.
again, the pub where I was born. He played it from the night time to the peaceful early morn. He soothed the souls of psychos and the men who had the horn, and they all looked very happy in the morning. But Jimmy didn't like his place in this world of ours, where the elephant man brought stormers next and he had too many powers. So I sat to see the grieving of the people that I'm leaving, and he took the road for God knows in the morning. We walked into the station in the rain, we kissed him as we put him on the train, and we sang him a song of times long gone, though we knew that we'd be seeing him again. Sad to say, I must be on my way, so buy me beer or whiskey cause I'm going far away. I'd like to think I'll be returning when I can to the greatest little boozer and to Sally McLennan. The years went by and smiles and shines, so grew to be a man. I learned to love the virtues of Sid Sally McLennan. I took the cheers and drank the beers and crawled back home at dawn. I ended up a barman in the morning. I pried the pump and took the hump and watered whiskey down, and took the booze and horses to the men and drank the brown. I heard them say that Jimmy's making money far away, and some people left for heaven without warning. We walked him to the station in the rain, we kissed him as we put him on the train, and we sang them a song of times long gone, though we knew that we'd be seeing them again. I'm sad to say I must be on my way, so buy me beer or whiskey cause I'm going far away. I'd like to think I'll be returning when I can to the greatest little boozer and to Sally McLennan. When Jimmy came back home he was surprised that they were gone. He asked me all the details of the train that they went on. Some people they are scared to croak, but Jimmy drank until he choked. Took the road for heaven in the morning. We walked him to the station in the rain, and we kissed him as we put him on the train, and we sang him a song of times long gone, though we knew that we'd be seeing him again. Sad to say I must be on my way, so buy me beer or whiskey cause I'm going far away. I'd like to think I'll be returning when I can to the greatest little boozer and to Sally McLennan.
Station and Nation riding on
As the Jarrow Tay, and that is our cue, first of all, for an update on the weather, and then a Manx track. And what Manx track have we got? I'm not entirely sure. We'll find that after we've done the weather. Bright or sunny intervals this afternoon and evening with just a small risk of a shower. Dry tonight, and tomorrow will be a dry day with variable cloud and bright or sunny intervals. Rain developing tomorrow night, then a damp start on Tuesday with outbreaks of rain and drizzle. However, it will gradually become drier and brighter later in the day.
Shelling Yn Chruinnaght faster beg dew leis just gau beg on the jig fras rish. B.A. Chirimnach is B.A. Chirim merach leis bodulin cachliach as Shelling Yn Chruinnaght. In riet, hig fliar rish ina verach as esh B.A. flioch sa tajach jimert leis fliar na drumen brishamach. Haie de vein is drumaz na skilla ec chera in le.
Yendasach. Well, as we've had our little cue for the Manx track, but this isn't Braew, but this is Mechlia, and
Yay.
They have similar, some
They have some crossover in
similarities.
members.
Yeah,
Some,
Tom is in it. Isn't
Tom and Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who else is in Mechlia?
There's also Greg Barry on the drums, and there is also David Kilgallen on the keys and Kiaull.
Kiaull. Wow.
Which is epic.
Excellent.
If you haven't seen it, it's ace.
Well, let's have a listen to Mechlia and the Ram. And I should warn you, this is one, and to be fair, Graham did say that he'd dragged his chairs and tables back in the kitchen and had a jig around. And well done, Graham. There's going to be another opportunity now. And then what else? Sue was texted in, must get a better bra. Lots of LOL. What's that one? Rogues were fantastic in Liverpool twice, says Sue. And of course then she says Pogues. Yes. But the Rogues probably were as well. And then gosh, there's loads of messages creeping in, and there was me just not I should have mentioned this. So another message from Sue. I'm so sad that the only Manx I got to learn ever was a trial for half an hour during lunch hour at Junior Albert Road School. Shame I don't speak, but have so many dictionaries, translation books. Sadly, only good for naming pets rather than speaking my Manx language. Well, there's always time, isn't there?
There's always time.
Yeah.
You can also find out what's coming up if you want to find out about classes and resources and different opportunities, workshops and the like. You can go to learnmanx.com/newsletters with an S on the end, newsletters, and you'll be the first to know about things that come up, and you'll get a newsletter about once a month pinged straight through to your email inbox. So
and
do it.
in 51 weeks' time,
in 51 weeks' time, you could do the summer school yet again. In fact, it's probably 52 weeks' time, because I'm looking at the dates for Yn Chruinnaght in 2026, and they will be the 27th of July to the 2nd of August. So I would imagine that Scoill Souree will be at the same time.
Well, there you go.
I think it's because the schools break up a wee bit later, or there's something like they break up on a Wednesday or something. I think that's why it's the following week next year. So get that in your diary. And also, the Coosh, it's never too soon to think about the Coosh, I think.
It isn't.
And the Coosh, for anyone who doesn't know, is a Manx Language Festival. It takes place this year between the 5th and the 9th of November. It's island-wide. There's opportunities for absolute beginners right through to fluent speakers, from things like last year there was cocktail making in Manx, through to things like song workshops and beginner level workshops. So there's something for everybody. You can find out more when it comes a little bit sooner at learnmanx.com, and we'll have some information about that in coming weeks.
Well, go to Mayu, Sue, and let's hope that with that prompt you'll be at a lesson near Ruth in the not too distant future. But I did promise the Maclear and the Ram.
Galas Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
rascals, aren't they? The rascals. You were just expecting something else, a little bit more to finish that, but they didn't.
Yes.
But yes, I hope that no one has suffered a funny turn after jigging around to that.
It's like tore a muscle or anything.
Well, yes, indeed, or banged their shins on the kitchen chairs or whatever it might be.
Pretty fast polkas they were.
Yeah,
weren't
they were
polkering
going
around your
at it.
kitchen. You'd know about it.
Yeah,
You'd know about it.
Anyway, that was MacLear with the Ram, and we'll shortly hear from Avanc, another piece of music from Avanc. But before we do, what were we had several things we were going to talk about, and we're running out of time.
We were going to talk about the produce show that was at Yn Chruinnaght, because I was saying to you in one of the breaks that I would have loved to have entered that, and that was the first year that they've done a produce show. So normally in the past there's been some artisan fairs, and this year, for something different to try, they thought, we'll do a produce show, because actually one of the original Yn Chruinnaght festivals back in the, I think, 1920s and things, they used to have them then, and so they took some of the same classes from about 100 years ago and put them in the programme.
My great auntie Pat was a medal winner back in the 20s or the 30s.
Yes, because they used to have proper, really fancy, nice medals, didn't they, and things. So I think these days it's a certificate, but yes, and I saw it and I thought, I'd love to have entered that, but I was obviously busy teaching, so I didn't have much time to do any preparation. But it made us then think about the fact that, yes, produce show on the Saturday, but of course at the weekend as well, there's also been the Southern Agricultural Show today, of course, and yesterday. And I was asking you, had you been?
And I had. Yes, I'd been the judge. And of course, I entered 4 potatoes in the produce show for the Chruinnaght.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to find out whether... I'm not sure how they judged, whether it was just a winner or whether they had seconds and
I
thirds.
think if you don't go
whatever.
back for them, they get sold. So those potatoes will be in someone else's belly now,
I was quite happy
Phil.
for them to be sold.
Okay, good.
But anyway, yes, those were... that was interesting. That and I was going to make, because I picked a bowl of goose gogs, and there was an interesting recipe for gooseberry chutney, which I was going to try and make. And then my dad had a little bit of a fight with a chip pan ended up in hospital. So time for doing things like making goose gog chutney went out the window.
Yes.
But I might have one. I might get some ready for the next time. But yeah, the Southern Show, wonderful, fantastic event. I was asked with former Gullers Gaccan host Simon Clark, and larger than life captain of the parish of Rushen, Paul Costain. So the three of us, and of course Sally Ann Maiden and Annie Kissack, the 5 of us went round judging. I got as far as the Jockin's violin stall and started playing several of Gregory's fiddles, and decided I wanted to buy them all, and didn't. I would have given Gregory the prize for the winner, but yeah, fantastic stuff, really good. Because normally, and we were all saying this, Simon, Paul, and myself, normally we would be at the cattle lines or the sheep lines or looking at the horses or whatever, and rarely would you get to look at the rest of the stalls, but there were some cracking stalls.
And so did your judging involve lots of sampling of cakes? That is what I want to know, and then I want to know, how does one become a judge?
Well, yes. Well, there were some cakes. The one category that we weren't asked to judge was the burger vans, and I was thinking you could do a bidding war for judging that, couldn't you?
You probably could. You probably could.
Yes, but the charity that won, and I can't remember which charity it was. It was something to do with horses. Could have been driving for the disabled, but I'm not sure. Anyway, with some horse-related charity, and that was just hilarious, because they had this. These 3, a big lump of cardboard with 3 squares cut out of it, and 3 women stood behind, and you had to shout "go" to them, and you shout "go" and they go and move their hands round and round, and then when they stopped going, they picked up a piece of fruit and showed you the fruit through the little square. So it was a human fruit machine. And I just thought it was hilarious. It was really, really funny.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was at
marvellous.
once won a thing, and it wasn't a produce show or an agricultural show or anything like that, but it just reminded me of it. I was at a quiz show, and quiz show. It wasn't a quiz show. It was just a quiz. It was just a quiz. But the person who was running it, old Hannah, came up with a real life. What's the one where it was? Oh, I want to say The Price is Right, but I don't know whether it was. It's where you had things that would go on a conveyor belt in front of you, and you'd have to remember all the items. Yeah. And how she did it is she had a box, and then she just had a big piece of like a massive roll of wallpaper, and then they just kept like what's the word, rolling up the wallpaper, and they had all these things, and they were just falling into a bucket, and the people had to remember what they were, and they would just literally what she could find around. And this was a school fundraiser, and it was really, really good. It was fantastic, and I thought I must try that in Manx at some point.
Right. Well, yes, we've got some ideas now.
Absolutely.
And Coosh, we'll have to have a special
human fruit machine.
Yeah,
Cornbui, Ool, Norwich.
Whatever.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hear another piece of music from Avanc this time. That's if I can work out the technology, which I think I can. And Natalie, you're going to introduce it for us.
So this is track number 1 from their album, Anhygoel Barry, which I believe means the amazing Barry.
Yendersack. very, very deserving of that round of applause, but I've cut them off. Because a round of applause is a round of applause, isn't it? And Graham has texted in to say that possibly you're thinking about the Generation game.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Gurrmayed Graham. Yes.
I was thinking way before your time, the Generation game.
No,
surely.
it wasn't, but
Wasn't
I was young. And so it's all a bit of a blur, along with sort of, Noel's house party. Was Mr. Blobby a cheese dream? Was he real? Who knows?
I think the less said about that, the better.
know.
Otherwise, I might find it and play it because there was a song and it was dreadful. Anyway,
no.
yes. So we would have hardly got any time left now. But the Natalie, you're heading back on the boat very shortly, assuming the boat goes.
I am indeed tonight.
And it's looking like a fair to middling sort of a crossing.
It'll be grand.
You a good sailor?
Generally, yeah, as long as I've not had too many drinks. Made that mistake before.
Oh, right. Oh, well, there you are. And any plans to come back to the island, or are you?
No firm plans at the moment, but hopefully in the not too distant future.
Yeah, good. And we'll certainly be seeing, or hopefully anyway, we'll be seeing some translations. I like we're now that you've mentioned, Ruth, about the Bohemian Rhapsody translation, we're just going to have to do it, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to have to, for the year of the Manx language, we're going to have to
I thought you
create.
were going to say next time. I was like,
Well,
I'll be on the 17th of August.
Well, we could.
This time.
Yeah, we
this
could.
Time.
We could.
I've been working on Immigrant Song as well.
Oh my
so
goodness.
That would be
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, there you are. Yes, well, yeah.
Well,
You
there's a
heard
challenge.
it first on Radio Manx Limited. Sometime during the year of the Manx language, we're going to perform Bohemian Rhapsody and what was it?
Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song.
Right. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Any guitar players out there that fancy joining us, text into the programme 166177 and we'll snap your hand off.
This is how new bands are born, Phil.
Well, it
This how
is,
new
isn't
bands
it?
are born.
Yeah,
Yes.
what a brilliant! I think it's a great idea. Yes, yeah. My mind is full of thought as to how we could do a Manx version of Bohemian Rhapsody in Manx, but using traditional instruments, perhaps. Or yeah, we could really do something.
How
like that.
did you translate Scaramouche, by the way? Did you leave it?
I think it stayed as
Scaramouche.
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 Yes,
I was wondering.
yes.
And
I was.
Fandango.
I believe that stayed as Fandango.
Yeah, someone had asked me what was it for? I can't think now. What was there was some word similar to Fandango that I was asked to translate into Manx, and I thought I don't really know what it means in English. So yeah, and that's often a good starting point. If you can understand what it means in English, then you've got a half chance of putting it into Manx. But, yes, well, we're almost out of time. Next week we will have Kenla on the programme, and he has been making jam. I know that because he texted into the programme last week to say he was making jam, goosegog jam. Bobby Bob is limbering up in the other studio and will no doubt be telling us all about Yn Chruinnaght. But now it's time
Galas Gaccan, brought to you by the Gaelic Broadcasting Committee.
for Neil Young and Only Love Can Break Your Heart.